Me and my family are trying to start something here that's going to impact a lot of people in a very practical way. Okay, bottom line. Total for everything that we've spent to set up this entity so far. Drivers ask me often, be it in person or in the comments of my videos. Drivers will ask the question, they're like, if I'm making good money as a driver, should I look at going out and being an owner operator? That's kind of what led to the idea of this video. I believe that if someone that works for somebody else is looking at one day eventually becoming an owner, I think one of the best things that individual can do now is start their entity now so that they can start getting some seasoning on their entity, right? Me and my wife right now, we're going through a process of creating a business and creating an entity. And one of the things that we have in mind, together, we've created 3 different entities so far, including this one. But what we have in mind now with this entity is setting it up in a way that it can receive funding, that it can receive a loan, that it can possibly receive a grant on a local, state, or a federal level. It's a little bit more required in setting up an entity and setting up a business when you're thinking about it from that aspect, as opposed to just creating the entity and kind of just doing business. That's how I've went about all of my other LLCs, right? So as we're going through this process, I've documented everything that we've done. I've written down all of the prices and the figures next to the cost of every part of what I'm going to share with you guys tonight. And the total for everything that we've spent to set up this entity so far, the right way to receive funding and to possibly be able to receive a loan, is $563. I quoted it wrong in the title when I said $513. My math was a little bit off, but I didn't want to go back and change it, right? I didn't want to mess around and break nothing, okay, as far as this live stream. So, but that's the total cost that we are looking at spending for this entity, $563 to create the entity and to put all of the things in place that need to be there for the entity to be able to receive funding. That's what I mean by setting up an entity the right way. We're not talking about just registering it with the state and getting your EIN and then conducting business. There's other things that you need to do. So that's the stuff that I'm going to get into tonight with you guys, specifically step by step. I'm going to give you guys the sauce, okay? Again, this is a process that we're going through right now. So, as I get stuff, I give it to you guys, all right? So if you enjoy this content, once I get into it, I want to tell you guys right now, man, because we're going to be on here for a little bit. If you get value from this content while you're here, be sure to give me a like. But also, I want you guys to visit me and my wife's GoFundMe. If you didn't know, me and my wife, or me and my family, we are looking to start a CDL school. It's an expensive endeavor, and we're looking to raise capital. We started a GoFundMe to help us with raising capital. Now, here's the bottom line, family. I just want to let you guys know real quick. Look right into the camera. Make sure you guys understand what I'm talking about here. Me and my family are trying to start something here that's going to impact a lot of people in a very practical way. Okay, bottom line. I absolutely think that me and my wife are the right people for this. Okay. I've been around trucks my whole life, okay? And I have a affinity for drivers. I understand drivers. I understand the industry. I understand how CDL school works. I understand where a few of the gaps are as far as CDL schools now. So we've identified a company that we can buy a franchise through, so we're not starting off totally in the blind, totally from zero. We've got the blueprint from the franchise company that we need to be following. So, at this point, we're looking to raise capital, and we're looking to have this school open no later than October of this year. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal. As far as setting up the entity, basically setting up the entity, this is the simple part. You're just going to go to your state's website, the appropriate website. In Virginia, I believe it's scc.gov in Virginia. Really all you do is just Google, how to set up an entity in my state. You'll see a lot of sponsored posts and all of that good stuff, but you'll see the appropriate website for your state that'll pop up. And you just go to that website. For us in Virginia, again, it's the SCC website, and everything is there to follow. All of the prompts are there to follow, to look up a business name, because you're gonna need to look up a business name, and to register it with the state. All right, so you're gonna follow the prompts on the state website. to set up the entity, to look up the name of the entity to make sure that it is available, and to register it with the state. That's the simple part. You're just going to follow the prompts on your state website. So in Virginia, we pay $100 to register with the state. My wife is telling me just now in the background that it ranges from $100 to $175 for all states. But in Virginia, you register that entity with the state for $100. If you need to get a business license could be as low as $50. We actually haven't gotten a business license yet. But if you need a business license will be as low as $50, okay? So, for $150, you can get your entity, you can register it with the state, and you can get the you can get yourself a business license, okay? The next you want to do is get your EIN, your employer identification number. This is, you probably know this already, but I'll let you know, this is basically your social security number for your business. This is important because this is what's going to keep up with the credit of your business. And keep in mind, one of the main reasons that we're looking to set up this entity that we're talking about tonight is for the purpose of receiving funding. So obviously you want to make sure you get your EIN. But getting your EIN is free, family. It doesn't cost nothing. And normally getting your EIN will take a day or two, okay? It normally doesn't take long at all. And setting up your entity is the same way. You'll get confirmation from the state that they've accepted your paperwork, typically within about a day or two, okay? You can do this stuff yourself, all right? With the other entities that me and my wife have set up, we've done the registering with the state part ourselves, okay? As far as a business license, we've done that ourselves before as well. This last time around, what we did, being that we formed a partnership, actually, with this entity that we're creating right now for the CDL school, we actually called LegalZoom and got them to set up the entity for us. LegalZoom, I think for the year, for this package, was $300. So for the $300 that we paid LegalZoom, they filed all our paperwork with the state. They're going to send off for our EIN as well. And you get a couple of attorney consultations along with that for that $300. So I guess what I'm saying is if you want to, you could pay somebody, a company like LegalZoom, and they could take care of setting up the entity for you. It costs you $300 for the year to do that. To me, that's not a big deal. Now, that $300 is not figured into this $513, by the way, okay? So far, you've created your entity. Oh, you want to have your operating agreement set up as well. This is also something that LegalZoom can do for you, or you can set up your operating agreement yourself. All right. You want to have your articles of organization. This is actually what makes your entity legal in your state. Again, when you go on the state website, you're going to be following the prompts to set up all of this stuff and to do all of this stuff anyway. All right. So that's actually the simple process, what I just now went over. Any entity that me and my wife has set up, that's the part that we went through, and that was pretty much the easy part. All the other stuff, as far as making your business more fundable, is some of the stuff that I'm going to roll off to you guys now. I had a friend of mine the other day that was telling me, he said, man, if people aren't getting loans for their business, it's because their business is not findable. If they want to be fundable, they have to be findable, all right? So now we're talking about getting your business fundable, okay? So first thing I got listed right here is your business needs a website, all right? There's a bunch of, website builders around. I always use WordPress. Okay, I always use WordPress. Installing WordPress on a website, by the way, is free, okay? But, if you're going to have a website, you're going to need a domain. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about that. A long time ago, I got a HostGator hosting package, the baby plan. And I don't even know if people, I don't hear many HostGator advertisements anymore. So, HostGator's been around for a while. HostGator's hosting plan, I want to say, is like $4 a month. $5 a month, maybe $6 a month for their baby plan, okay? They got 3 different plans. They have the lowest tier plan, and on the lowest tier plan, you can have one website. On their baby plan, you can add as many websites on that hosting plan as you want. So as of right now, I own several domains. I own mauricebay.com, I own thehelpfultrucker.com, I own mtbaytrucking.com, and I also own helpfulcdltraining.com. All of those domains, each one of them cost me $13 per year. I use my baby plan on HostGator to host all of them. If I want to buy another domain tomorrow, I would pay $13 for the domain, and I would just add it right to my hosting package. So I can have as many websites as I want to on that hosting package for that price, which is $5 or $6 a month. Okay. And the way that I do it, once I get a domain, the next thing that I do, and this is not difficult to do, family, I will install WordPress on my website. And I like WordPress websites as opposed to like Wix websites and Squarespace and all of that stuff, because WordPress is open source. It gives me the ability to do whatever I want to with my website, and I have full control over that website as well. Unlike a lot of the website builders that have terms and conditions, just like YouTube and Facebook have, that the users have to follow. I like WordPress because WordPress gives you complete control over your website. All right. The thing about a WordPress website is it is called a self-hosted WordPress website. So whenever you have issues, you got to make sure you get that stuff straight yourself. But I've never had a problem with my WordPress website that HostGator couldn't help me with. Or YouTube, just pulling up a YouTube video couldn't help you with, right? So you need a website for your entity, okay? Very important. It doesn't have to be a website that converts very well as far as converting viewers to buyers. It doesn't have to do all that. It needs to be there in case a lender wants to pull up your information. This gives the image that your business is legitimate because you got a professional website. And it doesn't take much to design a website. Most website builders nowadays are pretty much drag and drop. You put a block in, and then you populate the block with the words or the images or the video or the button that you want. And that's how you go through each section of your website. So it doesn't have to be a big deal. You need an about me section, you need a what you do section, you need a way for people to contact you. That's the type of basic stuff you need on your website. Doesn't have to be anything extreme or extravagant. It just needs to be appropriate website for the business that you have. So you got your entity set up, you're registered with the state, you've gotten your EIN, you've gotten your website. Now, once you get your domain, once you get the domain for the website, this is important because once you get the domain, now you can create custom email addresses. So now I can, with having the domain helpfulcdltraining.com, if I want to, I can say, hey, if you want to get in touch with me, you can email me at maurice@helpfulcdltraining.com. If you want to know more information about the CDL school, you can email us at info@helpfulcdltraining.com. If you want to whatever, you can go to admin@helpfulcdltraining.com. Once you own the domain, you can create as many email addresses for that domain as you want to for free. Again, just these little things that separate the professional from the amateur. It's better than having a Gmail. If you don't have anything else, a Gmail is fine, but it's better to have, your domain.com, because this is how professional business email addresses are set up. This is something else that's free. It doesn't cost to set up the business email address. All right. So that comes in with the cost of getting the domain. All right. The next thing I got on my list here is the DUNS number. You're going to go to, now I just found this out. I didn't know this. Maybe some of you guys knew this already. In last year, I believe it was last year, the DUNS number system, well, I won't say the system, but the DUNS number was replaced with the UEI number, a unique entity identifier number. And they kind of serve a similar purpose. So for a while, for the longest time, people would go and get their DUNS number. And your DUNS number has always been the number that your DUNS number helps identify what industry you're in, because you have to give an SIC code in order to be able to get a DUNS number. But a DUNS number is also something that you would need if you ever want to contract with the federal government, if you ever want to get money from the feds or do business with the feds. That DUNS number now has been replaced with a UEI number that is offered through the SAM system. And I can't think what SAM stands for, awards management system, something to that effect. But now you're going to go to SAM and get your UEI number. And basically it does the same thing as the DUNS number. It allows businesses, it allows companies to be able to know what industry you're in, and it allows you to be able to do business with the federal government, basically, whether that be in the form of getting contracts or whether that be in getting grants. For me to get, I just got my DUNS number for MT Bay Trucking maybe a couple of weeks ago. It was free. It took a day to get. It didn't take long at all. It took 5 minutes. The UEI, from what I understand, from what I read up on it so far, the unique entity identification number is just as easy to get. System for Awards Management. Sam, thank you. I appreciate that. 101 Trucking. Yes. That is the site you'll go to get your UEI number now. And again, that it makes it easy for people to look at your business and know what industry that you're in, okay? As far as SIC numbers, because I did mention that a little while ago, I just went to the appropriate website and figured out, I read through all of the descriptions of all of the different codes for my industry. I figured out which one applies to how I do business, and that's the SIC code that I put in to get my DUNS number. You do want to be careful as far as what SIC code you go with, because I'm told that will determine what category your business goes into, but that can determine how much of a risk your business is as well. Insurance companies are another place that looks at what category of business that you fit into. Certain categories of business are extremely risky, and companies don't really lend to certain categories. With picking the SIC code for MT Bay Trucking, I mean, I drive a truck, and trucking is risky. But with picking an SIC code for helpful CDL training, that's a different industry, okay? And you want to make sure you get the right SIC code, because you don't want to make it more difficult than it needs to be for you to be able to set your business up to be able to get funding, okay? But all of this stuff is free so far. The only thing I've talked about that costs is to register with the state and your business license so far, family. So you can do all of this stuff yourself, all right? Next thing you want to make sure you do to become fundable and to become findable is get your Google My Business page set up. Get your Google My Business page set up and get your 411 listing set up. I got my 411 listing set up today for helpful CDL training. It took 5 minutes, okay? I went to listyourself.net. That is the site that I went to. I entered in my business information for helpful CDL training. They gave me a phone call as soon as I hit submit to verify that was my phone number, and then they were like, your business will show up in 411 within a week. They also offered another service for like $5 a month and $25 setup, where they would let you list your website alongside your business as well. I didn't do that yet because my website is not set up. So you can go to www.helpfulcdltraining.com right now, and I've only got a WordPress theme installed right now. So it's lorem ipsum text. It's dummy text right now. I got to go through and design it, but the website is live. That's the only reason I didn't go through with paying the extra $25 for them to list my website alongside my phone number, okay? That's what you're going to do next. You're going to set up Google My Business page, which is free. Very simple to do. Google's going to send you a verification in the mail. Once you verify, your business will be live on Google My Business and 411 the 411 listing, okay? We're getting you findable now, family, okay? Like I said already, the basic stuff, most people that set up an LLC have done the basic stuff. Setting up the entity, getting the operating agreement in place, registering with the state, getting the EIN, that's the basic stuff. Getting a bank account, that's the basic stuff. But that is not the stuff that will necessarily get you fundable. Some of this other stuff that I'm going through right now is what will get you fundable, okay? I went to a company called iPostal. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of iPostal. If you have, let me know down in the comments. Let me know you've heard of iPostal before. iPostal sells virtual mailboxes. They sell virtual addresses, okay? And there's a lot of different reasons why people would use virtual mailboxes and virtual addresses, okay? Really, you don't have to go to these places to pick up your mail. They can scan your mail and they can get it to you electronically, or they can mail it to you if it's something that you actually want delivered to your home. But there might be a bunch of different reasons why a person wants to get a separate mailbox, all right? One of the main reasons I wanted a separate mailbox was, one, I didn't want people to be able to look up my entity, Helpful CDL Training, LLC, and then me and my wife's information come up because that information is public. The owner of that, or excuse me, the members of that LLC, and the registered agent of that LLC. So this is another place where a lot of people will, they will be their own registered agent, and they'll use their own address, and they'll use their own address for their principal place of business as well. It's not a huge deal, but if somebody ever types up your LLC, then your home information is public at that point. So you want to have a registered agent. We actually hired Virginia Registered Agent. That's the name of the company. I believe that's the name of the company. We're $50 a year. We use the registered agent's address for our registered agent. So now any correspondence from the state goes to the registered agent's address. It shows up publicly if you try to pull up Helpful CDL Training LLC. And also, we used iPostal for our business address. Okay, so iPostal has different tiers of service. We elected to get a virtual office. They have virtual addresses. They have, the phone numbers as well, but we got a virtual office, which came with the address that we could use for a principal place of business, and it came with a phone number, and it came with a fax line. The iPostal has a bunch of different types of addresses. The first one that they gave us, the state didn't want to accept it as a principal place of business. We called iPostal back and told them, hey, the main reason we got this virtual office package is so that we could have a principal place of business. They switched us up, gave us a different address. We gave that back to the state. The state accepted it, or I should say we gave it back to LegalZoom. That's who we went through for this last entity, and they filed it with the state, and the state accepted it, no problem. We paid $300, I believe it was $300 for a year of that virtual office with iPostal. Okay, so this is how you get your business address if you don't want to use your home address, and this is also how you can get your phone number. iPostal will also give you multiple phone numbers, okay, or they'll give you multiple addresses if you happen to need that for whatever reason. This was actually, if you take off the price that we paid to LegalZoom, this was the biggest cost of setting up our LLC, of getting the business address or the virtual office. All right. I actually got written down right here in my notes that that package that we got for the virtual office was $400 for the year, not $300 for the year. Okay. But that's iPostal one. And there's other companies as well that sell virtual addresses, but you just want to make sure that you're getting an address that can be used as a principal place of business for this. Okay. As far as your website is concerned, is you want to make sure you get your website indexed. You want to make sure you index your website on Google. This may be something that might not need to be done if you're dealing with, Squarespace or a Wix site or some of those places. But if you are dealing with a self-hosted WordPress website, again, you're going to have to, this is something you're going to have to do yourself. It's a self-hosted website. Okay. So you got to do it yourself, but it's not difficult to do at all. And what indexing your website does is allows for Google to be able to find your website. This is something that needs to be done for search. Okay. This is pretty much what you guys are going to do. This is pretty much what we're doing right now and what needs to be done if you want to set up your business and get your business in the position to be able to receive funding. So you've got, you're registered with the state, you have your business license, you have your DUNS number, your Google My Business page, you have your bank accounts, your business phone numbers, your address, you've got all of that stuff. Now you're going to start funding your account. Then you're going to start putting money in your account, okay? There's a couple ways that you can do this. You can just start putting money in your account to give the illusion that your account is now transacting business. I would recommend that you do regular deposits in your account. No different than if somebody was paying you for a service every week or every couple of weeks. I would recommend, that's how I recommend that you do that. Now, when I say you can do it a couple of different ways, here's what I mean. If your business is getting income, then it's possible that your business could be, then that income could be taxed. So let's just say you're taking $500 a week and you're putting it in your business account and you're just taking it out of your pocket. You're just taking it out of your personal income to do that. But you're doing this to give your business the illusion that it's now receiving income. Well, that income could be subject to taxes, okay? But you can also just document that you're lending your business the money. And that way you can, the money can't be taxed because it's not income. So it's not really a big deal. I'm just making the point that, you can fund your business out of pocket, but that may be taxed. So you just want to, I guess you just want to be careful about how you do that. The amount of money that I'm funding my business with out of pocket is not so much that I'm worried about that. Okay. So you want to start funding your business. You want to start depositing money into your business, and you want to start paying bills with your business. The $13 per year that it costs to set up your website, or that your domain costs, or that's $5 or $6 a year that your web hosting is going to cost you. These are things that you can pay out of your business account. So you've got money coming in every week, and every month you've got a couple of dollars coming out. Now on paper, as far as banking, you're trying to replicate a real business. That's exactly what you're trying to do. So now you're funding your business now, and when it comes to getting loans and credit cards and stuff like that, most companies are looking for at least 3 months bank statements. So once you start, doing transactions through your business account for about 3 months, after that, you can start looking at applying for loans, lines of credit, or credit cards. You can also look at, throughout this process while you're getting the transactions going through your account, that's also when you want to look to start establishing credit. Like, start looking at tier 1 creditors. There's a website called NAV, which NAV is a business credit building service. I think NAV is either $39 a month or $49 a month. They report to your business credit. Okay, this is going to go in your DUNS file. All right, this is going to add to your Paydex score. All of that will be in your DUNS account. Okay, I was talking to a friend a couple of weeks ago that let me know that he has a t-shirt company, a company that sells t-shirts to black businesses, and they will finance you, and they will report to your business credit. They report twice a month, he said. So, like, you're gonna be looking for easy places to get credit started. You're gonna be looking for, the places that do, net 30, net 45. I've heard Uline come up in this discussion. I've heard Staples come up in this discussion. Staples will give you business credit. I've heard Lowe's come up in this discussion. The thing is, you're just looking for creditors that won't require a personal guarantee, that won't require your social, that can do this just off of your EIN. That's what you're looking for at this first stage. You're just looking to get a few credit accounts on your credit, a few trade accounts, and at the same time, you're looking to start transacting money through your bank account. Okay, I would say, Marcus Taylor says, is there a minimum to deposit? If you're looking to set your business up to get funding, obviously one thing that's going to come into play is how much money is coming through your account. So, if you're looking to go big, the more money that you got coming through your account, the better it's going to help you. I would say that there is no minimum, though, Marcus. If you're depositing $50 a week in your business account, I mean, that's going to be something. It's going to take you a while to get up to something. But if you're depositing $50 a week, $200 a month, and then every month you got, let's just say, $30 worth of expenses that you're paying, after 3, 4, 5 months of doing that, you can parlay that activity into some other kind of credit. It really doesn't take much. Okay. Not saying how much you'd be able to get off of that, but you'd be able to get something, because you've got a business set up, a full-fledged business, and you've got your transacting business. So I would say there really is no minimum. And this is why I would say that the company driver that wants to be an owner operator one day should absolutely start doing this now, right? You're making money. If you're the company driver and you're like, hey, I'm looking at being an owner and I'm not sure if I should make that move or not, because I am making good money as a driver, you're making the money. So go ahead and invest it in planting seeds in your new venture, because like I said, you're probably going to need it. You're going to need it one day anyway if you look to be an owner, okay? The entity that I'm starting right now, Helpful CDL Training, that is the entity that we're going to run the CDL school out of. But right now, the activity that I'm looking to run through that entity is not based on me running a school. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say, right? So, you can know eventually one day that you want to start a trucking company, and you set up the entity right now, But depending on how you set it up, you can use it for other things. This is kind of what I'm doing with the entity that we've set up right now. It's going to be the same entity that we're going to use for the CDL school, but we're doing other things with the entity right now. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. All right. So now you've got some tier 1 creditors on your business credit, and you're transacting business. You're transacting money through your bank account. This is how you get fundable, family. From doing all of this stuff that I rolled off for you guys. Again, most people, I've done it a couple of times before where I've just set up the entity and registered it with the state and got the EIN, got the operating agreement, and got the bank accounts. Okay, but that is not enough to get you fundable. No lender can look you up online if that's all you have. Okay, you want to give the illusion that you're operating just like a regular business. That's the reason why you need all of this stuff: the address, the phone number, the DUNS number, the Google My Business page. You need all of this stuff: the website, the email addresses, so that when you looking to deal with a bank, a lender, or whoever you're looking to borrow money from, these categories that they have on their application, you got something to put in all of them, because you're operating as a real business, right?